Hi, I'm Michael Allison, Commercial Director at Roma Finance, and welcome to another episode of Roma Talks, where we meet people from across the property ecosystem and colleagues from Roma as well. And today, I'm delighted to be joined by our two newest members of our sales team. We've got Richard Wilfan and we've got Joshua O'Leary as well. Full names for both of you. Congratulations. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good. Yeah, thanks for having me.
And
Well,
this is
thank
your
you.
first ever podcast and
first one.
YouTube video. So it's something to show the family when we finish.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Well, with that, Richard, first question to you. There we go. So tell us a bit about yourself.
So a bit about me. Initially kind of came into the specialist lending market about 17, 18 years ago now. Kind of just fell into it really. Initially working it together, kind of worked through admin roles all the way up to underwriting and a few kind of team leader roles in between there as well. Went over to Golden Tree, spent just best part of 9 years there, doing a lot of ground up developments, and then last couple of months here at Roma. So yeah, it's been great so far.
God, that makes me feel really old. When you said 17, 18, because I remember you 17,
Yeah.
18 years ago.
Exactly.
I remember this young lad, Richard Wilfan, and now you're 18 years further on.
I know, massively changed.
I still think I'm as old as I was back then, so it's a bit of a wake-up call. So some real long periods at some big lenders.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it really helped kind of focus going forward as well, that it's kind of wanting to do that and do it for longer as well, really.
And obviously that's regulated, and then you went from regulated into development finance.
Yeah.
That was a different, and also from underwriting to BDM. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was a massive change. It was doing regulated second charge underwriting, maximum loans of 90, 100 grand, something like that, and then into the unregulated dev where minimum loan is starting at 100 grand and going up to 5, 6, 7 million. So yeah, it's a massive change really.
Bit of a change, right? Okay, well, we'll touch more on that in a moment. And Josh, tell us a bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, so I've not been in the business as long as you guys. So I was a broker before I joined Roma, and it was a family business. So it was my dad and my 3 brothers and me all running it together. And we did that for about 5 years together. So it was great. Most of the stuff we did was like ground up dev finance, a lot of structured deals. So most of the deals that we had would have senior debt and then some form of third-party equity that we introduced to it. So really interesting stuff, super complicated, trying to juggle lots of different parties and get everyone on the same team. But it was great. I learned a lot. My dad, I hadn't been in the industry beforehand, and I started, and my dad gave me a one-page document on how to be a development finance broker and just said, go out and win some business and get on with it. So it was a baptism of fire, but I learned a lot, so it was great.
With your dad and your 3 brothers, is that the size of your family?
I've got a sister as well.
Not in the business?
Not in the business.
No, she's a sensible one.
Yeah, she's got a very steady career, so she made a good choice.
Was it called O'Leary Finance by any chance?
It wasn't. It was called Mackenzie Byrne, which was Mackenzie is like my mum's maiden name, so, and there's some Irishness in there. So, but my dad started loads of businesses, so he kind of ran out of names.
So what's your name again, man? But okay, so that was lovely backgrounds that we've got there. So what brought you to Roma? How come you fancied the change, both of you, I guess?
I think from my side of it, it's obviously being in the specialist finance industry, you see a lot of change over the years, going to shows and everything like that. And one thing that's definitely stood out is Roma's always been there. They've always been at the forefront of people's minds as well, and kind of seeing them grow over the past kind of, especially 5 or 6 years, I've been more involved in it as well, and kind of just seeing that growth that they've had and wanting to be part of it as well.
Oh, brilliant. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I'd had 5 years working with my family, and that was enough for me. I'm really close with my dad and my brothers, and I wanted to keep it that way. So, and the plan had always been, I mean, I hadn't been in the industry before, and I'd done a few different jobs. I'd never really settled on a career. The plan had always been for my dad to take me on, teach me the ropes, and act as a stepping stone for a sort of longer term career. And so, yeah, after 5 years, I decided I was up for a change, and I thought I would try lending. I maybe shouldn't say this, but I wasn't hugely familiar with Roma. Yeah. I was introduced by a recruiter, and then we had a great chat initially, and then I came up to the interview, and the whole process was really, I found it really refreshing. I interviewed at a few different places, and I was expecting it to be, because it's kind of a sales job, and I was expecting the conversations to be really sort of target focused, you know, this is going to be your target. How are you going to hit it? What's your plan, etc., etc. And then I came up and spoke to you guys, and it was just, we didn't really talk about that at all. It was about, what are your principles? What are your values? Do they align with our values? And I felt like they did. And so I left the interview feeling like, actually, I think this could be a really good fit for a long-term move.
I think obviously one of the reasons you didn't hear so much about us is we feel that the area that you operate in is untapped potential. So I think it's worth pointing out that obviously, Richard, you work predominantly with brokers and a bit of direct, but again, untapped areas like Newcastle, etc., that you've just come back from. But certainly in the direct space, which predominantly where you'll be working, Josh, we have got untapped potential there. So it was important for us to find somebody who fitted us as an ethos with both of you guys, rather than just, oh, they do really great numbers. Well, if people do really great numbers, it's either because they're really great people or they've got a really great product.
Yeah.
So you may as well get to find out about the person, because actually the person is the bit that they're an ambassador of our business, and obviously that was part of that conversation. So maybe we should ask more target questions.
Well, I think you said something. In, I can't remember which interview it was, but I think you said you can probably sell, but if you can't, we can teach you that. But what we can't teach you is what's important to you. And so it's better that we're aligned on that, and then we can work out the other stuff as we go along, which I found was really refreshing.
Oh, thank you very much. So I guess just going back to you, Richard, you've obviously been in development finance 9 years. What have you seen change in that 9 years? Has anything changed, or is it more of the same, do you think?
With development finance, I think it's become a lot more difficult for developers. And that's with the rising build costs, especially since COVID. There was a benefit to clients at the time that build costs did rise, but also the GDVs were going up at the same time as well. So they didn't kind of feel that strain. Then maybe 2022, 2023, when the build costs were still rising a little bit, GDVs had plateaued, that it was making it a little bit more difficult. They'd assess sites when times were good and times weren't as good anymore as well. So I think that made it a little bit more difficult. It's then also the kind of front side of it with the vendors. They're told their site is worth X amount when actually it's not, when you take into account finance costs and everything like that accompanies it. I think it's difficult to get things through planning at the moment. A planning permission could have 20, 25 conditions. It might take 6 to 8 weeks to get them to the council, another 6 to 8 weeks to get them signed off, and actually you've only done 80% of what they want, and then you have to start that process again. So I think it's just a very time-consuming process now, the development side of it. But on that part of it, you need someone that's understanding of that, someone who understands the full process, that when you look at a site, you're not just making your money straight away, you're making your money after a couple of years. You need someone to be there and support you with it as well.
Wow. And I think what I've just got from that is you need somebody who understands the process a bit like you. I think you articulate it probably better than ever I could. And I suppose coming from a broker side, what have you, when you're looking in the marketplace, you live in the good, the bad, and the not so good. What do you think makes a good lender stand out in the market?
I think a focus on service really is the important thing. I mean, there's so many lenders out there, and they all offer roughly the same leverage and rates. So it's difficult to compete on that front, and I'm not sure it's a reasonable plan to compete on that front, but you can compete on service, because there's not, unfortunately, a huge number of lenders out there that really do value that aspect of their business. And I found as a broker, we would just return to the same lenders that were honest, transparent, and had good communication. You know, that if you're in the week of a deal completing, you need to be able to get hold of them, and if they're in a meeting, they can drop you a text or a WhatsApp saying, I'm busy right now, but don't worry, it's all under control, or whatever it is. That level of personal touch is really important, and we found it really important as a broker, and we just kept returning to the same lenders that provided it.
Wow. So I think the goal for us is to continue that. Obviously, service is a big badge of ours. I think the way I always picture it is, you rate your rate. The rate is how much the finance is going to cost. What we actually sell is an overall 18-month service package, because the drawdowns are key, portfolio is key, getting the case through. I think it's really important that we always hold on to that as we go through. So what do you think you bring to the business then, now that you've joined us and you've got your feet on the table? What do you think you've brought to the party, I guess, if that were you, Richard?
I think hopefully something that I can bring is that development kind of background and the knowledge of how to make a deal work. And that's not necessarily doing every single deal that comes across your desk. It's making sure that you're looking at it from an underwriter's point of view, from the client's point of view, from a risk point of view, to make sure that that deal is right, not just for us as a lender, but for the client as well, because ultimately what we want to make sure is that they make the right amount of money from the scheme, and they go on to other things as well, and hopefully come back to us from giving them that good service as well, really. So I think hopefully the development side of it I can bring to it, and hopefully that brings some new brokers that haven't used Roma before as well.
Brilliant. I feel like these are the interview questions I could have asked, aren't they? What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the service part. I mean, this is what I expected from the lenders I worked with as a broker, and it's what the level of service that I want to give now that I'm working at a lender, and I hope I did give when I was a broker. Because we worked on complicated deals that had lots of parties involved, there was a lot of, I spent a lot of my time just talking people down from the edge a lot of the time, like managing people's emotions and hand-holding them through it in any way that I could. And I think that element of it is really important, because it does get tense and it does get difficult and things go wrong, and you just need someone there that can kind of keep everyone calm and moving forward. And that's kind of what I hope to bring to it.
It's almost like that metronome, isn't it? To keep things moving.
Yeah.
Keep everyone in rhythm, I think.
Yeah.
So what about away from Roma? So tell us a bit about yourself away from work, and a bit about you as individuals. What do you get up to?
Yeah, well, I'm a dad, so
Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Takes up a lot of my time, obviously. I've got 2 daughters, one's 3 and one's 2.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm in the thick of it right now, but it's great. I love it. It's so much fun. Everyone told us we were mad when we had 2 under 2, but they're now at the age where they can play together and they're like best friends. So I just love it. It's really good. So that's most of my time, really. I do a little bit of Brazilian jiu-jitsu on the side.
On the side.
On the side. I mean, I don't get a lot of it at the moment, but I've got a house full of women, so I've got to bring a bit of masculine energy to my life a little bit. So yeah, that's what I get up to.
What grade are you? What belt are you?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I'm a white belt, but
At least that high.
it's the lowest.
I knew that. I just wanted to say it.
But I've actually been doing it for a long time. I must hold the record for like the longest guy that spent the longest amount of time as a white belt. It's very frustrating, but hopefully I'll get my blue belt soon. I don't know.
Oh, I can't wait to get home and say I met the world famous trainee. What about yourself, Richard?
So no kids from my side, but we moved house early this year, so we're currently in the process of decorating every single room, not once but twice in some cases as well.
All your choice.
All my choice, yeah, of course. And then apart from that, we love travelling. So we've been away to Dublin this year, to Canada, to Amsterdam. We're going to Poland in the next few weeks as well, and kind of UK trips where we can, take the dog with us. So yeah, that's kind of mainly what we do. A lot of our time spent doing that. And then personally, just trying to keep as fit and healthy as I can. I love eating, I love drinking. So it's trying to make that a lot better and get out and go for as many runs as I can. And whether it's cold, raining, warm, just do that to benefit myself at the weekend.
Brilliant. I loved it when you were reeling off the countries you've been to. I saw Josh start drifting. I remember that life.
Holidays.
No kids.
Yeah.
So how have you found the first few months at Roma? How's it been for you, the transition from different lender and from broker into lender? How have you found it personally?
I felt it's been really good. Everyone has been really welcoming, whether that's kind of in the office, on Teams or anything like that. So it's just been really good. It's been great being part of a bigger team who are there to support you day to day to help get to the end goal, which is lending money as well, really. So it's been really good and really positive.
Brilliant. What about yourself?
Yeah, it's been great. It's so different working, because obviously it was only my 3 brothers and my dad, so it's so different working in a bigger team. But yeah, everyone's been super helpful. I think everyone in my first 2 weeks, every member of staff basically came up to me privately and said, if you ever need help with anything, just give me a shout. And then, you put questions in the team chat and you get like 3 people that say, do you want to hop on a call and we can talk this through? Like, it's just been super supportive. So it's been great and busy as well. So that's nice.
I think what's nice as well is the feedback we've had about you two as well. I think back to when we talk about culture, Your culture is everything, really, because you can have the best plans, best strategy. Culture can eat strategy for breakfast if you have the wrong one. And the feedback we get about you guys, be it on standing shows or the way you present a transaction, we've actually seen live feedback, haven't we, come back from underwriting and credit about how you've interacted with them, which is great to see, really, for such a short period of time. You're already having a great big impact to it. So what do you think 2026 is going to be like in the specialist lending market?
I was going to say, do you want to start?
What do you think's next, really, in the 2026?
It's so hard to say. I mean, my 5 years in the industry has basically been massive global geopolitical event after the other, like every 3 months. So it'd be nice to have a period where we just don't have anything. Just a bit of stability for a little bit would be fine. And it kind of feels also like the market has always been waiting for something on the horizon that's gonna speed things up, or whatever it is. We've got the budget out of the way today, so I'm hoping that it's just gonna maybe just provide a period where nothing major happens and people can kind of get on with their business. But I think that's quite a lot to ask for at the moment. I don't know.
I love your optimism. What about yourself, Richard?
I think the kind of change, especially with specialist lending, might go more towards the bridging and refurbishment side. Right. Especially if there is a lot of landlords that are trying to get rid of properties. Then there could be some that haven't had a lick of paint in the last 10 years. So there's probably a lot that can be picked up at the right price. And again, going back to what I said before, the development side, I think that's still a very, very lengthy process. And unless anything's put in place, it will still be a lengthy process. So I think there might be a bit more of a step away from the development side of it and a bit more of a push onto the resi and the longer term kind of debt side as well, really.
I think that's why it's important, isn't it, to have that product toolkit that we have, that you can sort of lean into what's needed in the marketplace. So I know this year we saw it in commercial bridging as being probably our our hottest selling product compared to what we were expecting, as people are diversifying what they're purchasing, moving away from residential into commercial. Certainly some people, but again, it's thinking about our refurb process going into next year and maybe that term offering and making sure that we're at the forefront, because it's all about getting that Roma borrower any one time. The more products you guys have to sell, the more opportunities you have to have conversations.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, listen, I've really enjoyed you both being on. I've enjoyed learning a little bit more about you and the what I need to do better in interviews. Thanks for the feedback there, Josh. But I think, listen, you both hit the ground running. We've already got payouts. We've already got cases in whip. We've already got relationships we didn't have before. But more importantly, I think what I'm getting from today is we've got two really knowledgeable people who are there to help brokers and customers navigate 2026 and beyond and help Roma to continue to grow. So thank you so much for how you've landed. Thanks for making me feel a bit old as well, Richard. Make me think about those years.
Always happy to do that, yeah.
Always happy to do that. And the least said about that night out, the better. But listen, thanks very much, guys, and best of luck going forward. And thank you, everybody else, for watching as well. Thank you. Goodbye.